been seeing a lot of me today, but I hope it's been entertaining and it's been good. This session is a fireside chat that we will have with industry leads. We are all moving in this hybrid ways of working, right? So, which is why you will see that you have certain people in the panel on a virtual setup, and there is Chandan who joins me as a panelist in a face to face, and we're trying to ensure we maintain distance, social distancing. You see. Cool. So let's kickstart with the first question, and Chandan, since you're so close, let me start it with you. If I, and again we're talking about Trailblazer Tech and therefore linked to technology, right? If you can tell me how is your organization leverage technology to drive consumer growth?
Oh, I can talk a lot about it. Probably I can talk for the full session about it. But just to give you a short answer, see, technology plays a very important and vital role in the entire consumer journey. And what we've realized is that to ensure that tech helps us in a real fashion, and magic happens when you use tech in all the parts of your consumer journey. So if I have to give you an example of an innovation journey, for example, picking the right signals, looking at millions of consumer signals to identify what is the real trend that you should launch, and using machine learning to identify that, size that trend, and then launching it using again tech to build rapid prototypes, test them with consumers, bring them in the market, then using our first party data, in-house remarketing skills to ensure that we reach out to the relevant audience, and then finally tracking the progress of the launch pretty much on a real-time basis. This entire process, pretty much earlier we used to have talked about 8 to 10 quarter innovation cycle, which now we're supposed to do it like within 100 days. It also helps puts us in a place where we can pick up the signals and intervene in the market, react to the market, and get a first mover advantage. One last point, Sushma, which I want to say is that we talk about tech a lot, but in this entire journey, one thing which is extremely important is the behavior change. Right? So it's not just the tech alone; it is also the behavior change and how you adapt to this entire stuff. This is very
interesting. I mean, being in the field and doing this, yes, there's a lot to learn, and I think real interesting stuff out there. If I were to move to you, Anup, and talk about Swiggy, how would you speak about the same thing, which is how has your organization leveraged technology to really drive consumer growth?
Sure. So I think technology is at the forefront of everything that we do, right? From consumer understanding to ability to serve the consumer. Tech plays a role in getting this high-scale operations up to the consumer's house. So there's a very, very strong serviceability angle where tech plays a very, very high role. Tech is also something that is used to understand the entire consumer journey as well as the consumer behavior on what are the needs of that consumer and how can we serve them better with respect to what really matters for them. As we move forward, there is so much information, there is so much clutter that's available. It's important that we serve our consumers with what really matters to them and how do you kind of really make them help them in their decision making faster. So tech plays a great role in serving the consumers in that aspect as well. Inward looking, tech is also something that we use extensively to understand the customer needs, not just for now, but also for the future. So it's about consumer behavior as well as serving the consumer. Tech plays a strong role at both fronts for your us at Swiggy. And just to kind of build on, what tech helps also is not just how we serve the consumers today, but what businesses will we serve the consumers in the future. And I think that's something that tech is a great tool to kind of leverage, and the possibilities are immense, and it's something that's super exciting.
I mean, I think I am actually a consumer of Swiggy. I probably order every day, and the kind of stuff that keeps coming to me and the way you entice me is beautiful, and I'm sure that is leveraging technology and ensuring I am the way I am because I eat a lot and I love sweets, so it keeps bombarding me with messages on that. So well said, Anu. If I were to now focus, because again, in the tech space, I heard from you saying, what are your companies doing? Now I'm going to just shift gear and Anu, if I were to ask you, in the tech space, if I were to ask you, which company do you think is really, standing out in your mind, and why would that be?
So, thanks for asking this question. I won't be able to give you a very direct answer to it as to which one company, but what I think is that in each of the different verticals, for example, FMCG, tech, consumer tech, etc., different companies are at different levels of evolution. However, the one thing which is increasingly becoming very popular and defining which organization is faster in adopting tech is, similar to what Chandan was saying, how the data collection that we are doing, how different departments which are collecting data, how can we sync that data together and make relevant insights out of it. So for example, if as a consumer, I'm talking to technology in one customer grievance or something like that, while at the same time I'm also trying to buy a new product, it is important that the organization which is servicing this customer understands the whole ecosystem of how the viewer is interacting and not just in silos. And I think with last couple of years have been really revolutionary in that aspect, and a lot of organizations are trying to build all their synergies in different data collection methodology. So I think that's very pivotal.
If I were to move to you, and considering you work at Sprinklr, you work with multiple clients, multiple companies. If I were to ask you this question, saying which company stands out, and I genuinely hope you will speak of one company, or at least of multiple companies. So if I were to ask you the same question.
Thanks, Shushma. First of all, here I would also like to first of all take a vertical approach. It applies to multiple companies of pharmaceutical domain. So what I have seen that the way pharmaceutical companies have leveraged technology to get closer to their consumers, which are patients in this case, is just phenomenal. Right? These companies have always been challenged by various regulation when it comes to direct to consumer marketing. But the way they have decoded this and are conducting marketing activities is very innovative. For example, they have used technology to build online communities, which has helped them move more closer to their consumers or patients. And these communities, in turn, have also brought patients and caregivers even closer to the medical fraternity, right? Patients can go and actively seek out any disease-related advice or any emotional support from their fellow beings, or in turn, the pharma companies and the healthcare providers, they get to learn more about the unmet needs of their patients by listening to the data and framing a accurate strategy. And it helps them build a proper consumer insight strategy, right? I think all of us can really learn from the way pharmaceutical companies, which are greatly challenged, have leveraged technology. It's a very interesting use case. And I am always amazed whenever I see a pharmaceutical company winning a top campaign award.
Interesting. So I hear you say that pharmaceutical industry is using a lot, while you're not focusing on a company, but at least an industry. That's great. Chandan, if I were to now move to you, again, when you think of tech, analytics, etc., right? You keep hearing a lot about AI, ML, and things like that. So if I were to ask you, what's been your experience in this, AI, ML journey, and what would you tell people who are listening in on what could be done, or what is the possibility that could be done?
Okay, I would say the sky is the limit. All we have to do, we have to embrace the technology, because reality is AI, ML are here to stay. In fact, the future is augmented reality. But what I want to say is that it does not mean that all of us become redundant. It is actually the magic will happen when AI ML meets human interpretation. I think we all need to upskill ourselves. We all need to embrace AI and then see how we can use it to get meaningful insights at a much faster pace. Now, gone are the days. Think about how companies are working. Companies are now not looking at 8 to 10 quarter cycles. We are all saying, okay, we have to do launches, see, test the waters, and whatever is doing good, scale it up. Otherwise, pivot or kill. Right. So that's the standard model. So we have to embrace that and work on it. And then lots of examples, right? For instance, we all do some of the talking about e-commerce, and we all then go and rate the products, write reviews and all. So how can we actually use the AI ML to give us real-time insights on what consumer feedback is coming, classify it in a particular manner which is usable, and then take actions, right? So I would only say, just to summarize again, and at the risk of being repetitive, embrace it and see how you can work with it to create magic.
Upasana, if I were to ask you again, because I believe you've got a lot of experience in the space. So if I were to ask you the same thing, saying, what's your experience in this space being of AIML, and what would you want to tell people who are watching this today?
Yeah, so I agree with Chandan. First of all, sky is the limit when it comes to AI ML space. But coming from this background, I can say that with the great amount of data that's generated by the modern channels these days, like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, right? These are the channels these days which are more closer to the consumers. The reason being because of the pandemic, their screen time has greatly increased and their footprints to traditional retail store has declined. So I think the organizations can build sophisticated and deep machine learning algorithms on this data, which can be used to automate the techniques to predict consumer intent and sentiment. I'll just take an example of a use case of how we at Sprinklr have leveraged AI-driven smart alerts to help one of its leading clients. So Sprinklr platform helped trigger AI smart alerts for one of its brand when we saw a sudden spike in the negative mentions around a potential contamination of their entire batch of a flagship product. So this allowed the brand to come up with a mitigation plan and design a proactive product recall, right? So these are the things that I'm talking about: smart alerts, smart insights, right? So these smart alerts, these have helped organizations take preemptive measures in cases wherever there is an adverse event, wherever there is a campaign, right? So I really encourage organizations to take up more and more of such AI and ML driven activities and become more smarter. So that's my 2 cents.
Interesting, Upasana. So I think, again, heard from, let's say, a client and an agency on how they're leveraging it. I think that it's fabulous, and probably like Chandan started saying, sky is the limit. There's just so much happening in this space. So probably I will certainly reach out to each one of you to understand what more can be done and learn from your experience. Now, this is a question I'm going to ask all of you because, in the current times, which is COVID, whether we call it new normal, whether we call it pre-COVID era, post-COVID era, etc., right? Want to understand, that one or two things where technology has actually helped your organization. And on this one, let me start with, let's say, Arup, if you can speak, that how has technology helped you or your organization during COVID times?
So, Sushma, the way, so let me answer that in 2 forms, right? So there are viewers who are watching content and there are advertisers who invest on the platform. So, what we have done is we have been able to accelerate the journey in the past, since COVID significantly on both those 2 fronts. So from a viewer engagement point of view, where technology, we have started to use technology very extensively, is in better discovery of content, in better storytelling, in understanding what are the viewer preferences and customizing, content according to those viewer preferences. On the advertiser side of things, on the advertiser engagement side of things, I think what we have been able to do is we have been able to put together sharper targeting cohorts for advertisers so that they can reach the relevant audiences. Have improved our reporting and measurement matrices, because that is another area of or body of knowledge where technology has played a significant role. And what this has done is this has increased the transparency in which organizations operate, or the marketing as a function that operates, because we grew up thinking that half the marketing dollars that we spend, we don't know where that goes, right? So that was the famous Philip Kotler definition. However, with technology and with increasing adoption of digital by both the consumers, viewers, and organizations, I think that number is shrinking. So we increasingly, marketeers are aware of a larger percentage of their investments in terms of where it is going, how it is creating the impact. And I don't know if I can say 100% we are there, but definitely the transparency is improved significantly. So so that was my.
Great, great insights. If I were to, sorry, I'm lost between Anup and Anup. If I were to move to Anup and ask you the same thing, saying, during COVID times, how have you, what changes have you done, or what have you used technology to do in the consumer space?
Right. So I'd say that there are two things which enabled us or helped us immensely during this entire pandemic phase. One is closer home, which is essentially how we do research. And tech has helped us staying true to closer to our consumers. There have been innumerable ways that the industry has discovered and we've been open to trying, which has kept us really close to our consumers. In fact, we've now been spoiled. We can't go back to the erstwhile view of how we used to do research. Now everything is so much faster, so much agile, and companies have kind of responded, or as the industry has responded to do things in a much, much faster way. What that helps us do is stay at very close to the consumers and get the consumer pulse in a quick way. And especially cases where there was lockdown, there are no lockdowns, how is the consumer feeling, which categories they are comfortable with, which categories they are not comfortable with. And getting that actionability back for our tech as well as business teams was something which was paramount. And therefore, as we grew back in our business as well, staying close to the consumer was possible because of tech and because how the industry kind of really came up with different solutions. Now, what you do with those solutions is the second part of it. And at Swiggy, what we've done quite well is essentially understood it more from a signals perspective. So as you saw the app kind of morphed itself, which over-indexed on safety. There were restaurant tags that were tagged as best in safety. There were initiatives like no contact delivery that enabled consumers to use that as a platform. We understood that this was not just the customer side, the delivery executives and the delivery partners also had the same concern. So the algos worked in ensuring that there is no crowding at the restaurants, and what the promised time to the consumer is going to be fair and accurate. So tech actually changed the entire cycle without causing any consumer dissonance in the experience. It also gave us signals into what consumers were really seeking, and it was beyond food at one point. Grocery was an important play. Getting stuff from one point to the other was an important play, and Swiggy kind of quickly ramped its Genie offering, scaled it to 65 cities. We dialed up on the Instamart offering and kind of moved into servicing grocery needs. So as we think about convenience, tech and consumer behavior both enabled us to crack this in a more holistic manner, so to say.
Being a consumer for both the OTT and Swiggy, I mean, whatever you said resonated a lot with me because I've seen it come to life. So, when you're talking of personalization, when you're talking of, Genie, et cetera, it's really something that makes me believe, oh my God, it's done. And I've seen it live. So I'm quite excited. Chandan, if I were to ask you, FMCG favorite, you work for HUL. So what has technology brought about for you guys?
So, just to give you the context, pre-COVID, we used to do a lot of research to the traditional route and all. And when the lockdown happened, that was not possible to do it, right? right? So if I have to now think of the business, earlier digital was optional. It was a choice. It was a tick mark. But if I can say thanks to lockdown, I couldn't. But if I can say because of this, it was not a choice anymore, and people had to embrace it. And we did everything that my co-panelists have spoken about, and we got consumer insights. What has happened is that people have realized that it is possible to get a similar kind of experience, similar consumer insights through digital, also through using tech. And it is cheaper, it is faster, it is as reliable, or maybe in few cases more reliable. And thus, there is no way of going back to the traditional research. I'm sorry, I'm talking to the research community here, but as I say, it's it is only going to help us and enable us get better consumer insights. So that behavior change has happened. And I lead something called as my People Data Center, which is all about social business analytics and data-driven marketing, which people used to come like, okay, this is only for digital first brands, maybe not for core brands. That change is happening. Now it is used for entire portfolio. Even the core brands are looking at insights coming from social and they're acting on it.
And I think again, I can lead what you're saying, because even for us, like you called it traditional research, I would rather say connecting with consumers, right? It used to be always face to face. And what we've done in our organization is we created this app, which is called the KYC app. It's Know Your Consumer, where you can go and interact with consumers. So anybody can log in a request and meet a consumer online. So I can see again things that you're saying, that digital first, mobile first, and things like that. That mentality is completely changed. Absolutely. Because today you have to be online if you want to.
Absolutely. Just think about simple consumer visit. Earlier required all of us to book the entire day, travel, and there's a lot of time, cost, and everything involved. Now you just book a conference room for that 1 hour, go talk to the consumer. You get absolutely crystal clear insights, and you are done with it. And the rest of the day is still there. There's no cost of travel. There is no effort. The quality of insights is better. You can connect to more consumers, and that's what it is all.
And Chandan, if I were to build on this, it is you can do multi-city on the same day.
Yes.
I think that's fabulous. If I were to move the conversation, Upasana, to you, because again, you work with multiple companies, and you also as an organization do a lot of tech-based stuff. So, what changes have you seen due to COVID, and you can speak about that?
Yeah. So obviously I'll have a different perspective to it, right? Rather than tech helping us, how we helped other organizations. So as you all covered, right, the onset of this pandemic, it meant a change in the shopper behavior, and it lead to accelerated digitization. I would say, obviously, digital transformation was on the cards for a lot of us here, but it really accelerated it further, right? And then we as Sprinkler, we assisted a lot of our clients across industries through our advanced AI-driven models to help them turn around to reach their customers in a very short duration and bridge the unmet needs. So to explain this, I'll again take a very short example on how we helped an e-commerce brand to facilitate their contactless delivery. So, what we observed was in the delivery, that was a new trend or a sudden spike, a word which was never used before, contactless delivery, right? So we help the brand keep a track on the consumer sentiment across issues like non-serviceability, order cancellations, and delivery delays. So the client could action on the data-driven insights through which the brand was eventually able to change its strategy accordingly and regain its customer support. So in all, it allowed the brand to successfully have an implementation of the contactless delivery and address all the issues due to the pandemic, and overall the sentiment also improved for the brand. So this is a very short use case, but like this we have I think numerous case studies of how we help customers during pandemic. But this is more relatable. Yeah.
It's really interesting. And again, it's good to get perspectives, right? So one is saying, what am I doing for an organization, and how you are able to bring about how did you help organizations to actually grow? I have one last question, and I'm conscious of time, and I hope very much if you can just check there are any questions from people around. If there was, because there are people attending across industry of, in the market research space, in the insight space, if there was one liner that you could leave behind with people, what would that be? And Arup, if I can again start with you.
Yeah. So, we expect organizations to be consumer facing, right? So the one-liner I would like to leave is, technology is the eye by which the organization has to be consumer facing. So that's what I would say.
Very nice. A very, very good way of putting it. So I loved it, Arup. Anup, if I were to move to you and ask you what would your one liner be?
I think one of the things that I'm just borrowing this from the internal, the way we often word it. Essentially, the AI will help us understand things better, but it is going to be the human intelligence which is actually going to complete the picture. So for everyone on the call, I'd kind of just say that this is something which is not going to change. It's something that will only be possible when we understand human behavior better. And that's something that all of us should drive towards getting an expertise on. And I think that's one line that I'd leave, that human intelligence is not going anywhere. In fact, it's going to be critical to decode that part, because that's something that expertise will always be required for.
Thank you, Anup. If shift gears, move to you, Upasana.
Yeah. So,
Your one liner.
yeah, thanks, Sushma. So I would like to quote my CEO over here, right? To all the fellow consumer researchers here, So when it comes to tech and consumer insights, I believe that we have just started and the best is yet to come. Right. So the way we have seen digitization in the past 2 years, it's changed drastically and the future is even bright.
Interesting, and Chandan, I were to ask you behind one liner.
I think I have said the same thing and I'm going to repeat it again. Tech is here to stay. Embrace it, befriend it. Don't think it's going to substitute you. Magic happens when human intelligence meets tech.
Cool. That was super. Thank you so much. And any questions from anyone? Cool. So thank you, panelists, Anup, Arup, Upasana, Chandan. It was brilliant talking to you. Guys, in case there are questions, pose it, we'll pick it up later, and I'll ensure that we come back with answers on these websites. So thank you so much. It's been a great pleasure talking to all of you. Best of luck, and let's